That jar of honey in your pantry right now. Go grab it. I'll wait. Back? Good. Flip it over. Read the label. Look for where it's actually from. If it says product of Australia and other countries or blended from local and imported honey, put it down. That's not honey. That's rice syrup mixed with just enough real honey to fool you. Because what Australian supermarkets call honey isn't honey anymore. It's C4 sugar syrup, corn derivatives, rice paste, blended with enough actual honey to pass basic testing. Chinese manufacturers perfected the art of making fake honey that looks real, tastes real, and even tests real using cheap laboratory methods. I spent 3 weeks investigating honey fraud, analyzing independent testing results, tracking corporate responses to contamination scandals. What I found made me throw out every supermarket honey jar in my house. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which 7 brands to avoid, including one organic honey that charges double while selling the same adulterated product. And I'll show you 2 sources that are genuinely clean. Stay until the end. Number 1 will make you furious. Number 7. Capilano honey. 70 years, 3 generations of Australian families. Your nan spooned it into her tea, your mum drizzled it on your toast. That yellow squeeze bottle sat in every kitchen like it belonged there. Capilano wasn't just honey, it was trust, bottled. That trust, sold to China and betrayed in a laboratory. In 2018, Capilano was partially acquired by a Chinese company called Superbee, significant ownership stake. Australia's most iconic honey brand, now partially Chinese-owned. The concerns started immediately. Then the testing results came out. Multiple independent laboratories tested Capilano using nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy, NMR testing, the gold standard for detecting honey fraud. It identifies C4 sugar markers, proof that rice syrup or corn syrup has been blended into honey. Capilano failed. Multiple batches, multiple tests, clear C4 markers. This wasn't contamination. This was deliberate, cheap sugar syrup blended with real honey to boost profits. Capilano's response? Denial. Complete denial. Our honey is 100% pure. The testing methodology was flawed. The labs don't understand honey chemistry. Here's the truth. Australia's honey standards are embarrassingly weak. No mandatory testing for adulteration, no NMR requirements. Honey only needs to pass basic sugar tests. Tests that sophisticated fraud sails right through. Capilano meets Australian standards because Australian standards are designed to be worthless. Go grab your Capilano right now, squeeze it onto a plate, watch it, see how it flows? Smooth, perfect, like syrup from a machine. Real honey resists, real honey clings, real honey fights the spoon. This pours like it was engineered in a factory. Because it was. Leave it 6 months, it never crystallizes, never goes cloudy, never changes. Real honey transforms, real honey is alive. Capilano stays frozen in synthetic perfection, dead. Processed, fake. Now taste it, really taste it. Sweet? Yes. But is there complexity? Floral notes? That subtle tang real honey delivers? Number. Just sweetness. One-dimensional. Empty. That's sugar syrup doing the work, while minimal real honey provides color. The label says 100% honey. Here's the loophole. Australian labeling laws don't require disclosure of C4 sugars because they're technically plant-derived. They can blend rice syrup into honey and legally call it 100% honey. $7 for 500 grams. Sounds reasonable. But you can get verified pure honey from actual beekeepers for the same price. You're paying real honey prices for adulterated product because that yellow bottle carries 70 years of trust they're actively exploiting. Think about this. Every morning, parents spread Capilano on their kids' toast, thinking it's natural, thinking it has enzymes, antioxidants, health benefits. Instead, they're funding a partially Chinese-owned company that failed purity testing, denied the results and kept selling, trading on Australian heritage that no longer matches reality. Your nan trusted that yellow bottle. They don't deserve that trust anymore. Number 6. Beechworth honey. Victorian regional honey. Charming country town imagery. Pure and natural, plastered across every label. $8 to $12 for 500 grams. You're paying extra because regional sounds better, more authentic. like it came from specific hives in specific Victorian locations. It didn't. Read the label carefully. Packed in Australia from local and imported ingredients. Local and imported. That fine print is doing criminal work. You think you're buying single origin Victorian honey. You're buying a blend. China, Vietnam, Argentina, wherever bulk honey is cheapest, mixed with just enough Victorian honey to use the Beechworth name. The ratio? They won't tell you. Could be 70% Beechworth, could be 30%, could be 10%, you'll never know. But it gets worse. Independent NMR testing found Beechworth samples that failed purity standards. C4 sugar markers. Present. Not every batch, but enough to raise serious questions. Their response? Our products meet all Australian regulatory requirements. Technically true. Completely meaningless. Australian standards are so weak that adulterated honey passes legally. Meeting minimum standards isn't purity, it's the lowest bar imaginable. The regional branding is the scam. You're paying premium prices for Beechworth Association, for Victorian authenticity, for small town tradition, but you're getting blended mystery honey with failed purity tests. Open your Beechworth jar. Look at the colour, uniform, consistent, every batch identical. That's wrong. Real regional honey varies. Spring looks different from summer. Eucalyptus looks different from clover. Colour changes based on what flowers bees visited. Beechworth looks the same year-round because blending from multiple countries creates artificial consistency. Nature doesn't make identical honey. Factories do. Taste it. Pleasant, sweet, acceptable, but distinctive. Does it taste like Beechworth flowers? Does it have unique regional character? No, it tastes like nothing specific. Generic. Averaged out. That's what happens when you blend honey from 4 countries. Everything distinctive disappears. You wanted authentic Victorian honey. You got a globalized blend wearing Victorian costume. That's not regional pride, that's regional fraud. Number 5. Woolworths and Coles House brand honey. $3 for 500 grams. Budget honey. Cheapest option on the shelf. Seems smart during a cost of living crisis, right? Families watching every dollar. Same honey, lower price. Wrong. Read the label. Product of Australia and other countries. Blended from local and imported ingredients. Translation: mostly Chinese honey with an Australian label. Industry insiders estimate these blends are 70 to 80% imported. Just enough Australian honey to claim partial local content. You're buying Chinese honey at Australian prices, and Chinese honey has a massive problem. It's documented repeatedly. Chinese producers caught selling fake honey made from rice syrup, corn syrup, and beet sugar, processed to pass basic tests. European countries heavily restrict Chinese imports. Australia, wide open. We import millions of kilograms annually. The cheap price makes sense now. Chinese bulk honey costs $3 to $5 per kilogram wholesale. Australian honey costs $15 to $20. Supermarkets blend cheap Chinese honey with minimal Australian, retail it at $6 to $8 per kilogram, and pocket massive margins. They're not offering you value, they're offering you fraud at discount prices. But here's the health concern beyond adulteration. These honeys are heat-treated, pasteurized, blasted with temperatures up to 70 to 80 degrees Celsius. Why? Kills yeast, keeps honey liquid, extends shelf life, but it also kills everything valuable. Real honey contains enzymes, antioxidants, beneficial compounds, all heat sensitive. They break down above 40 degrees. Commercial pasteurization destroys them completely. You're buying sugar syrup that used to be honey. The enzymes are dead, the antioxidants are degraded, the benefits are gone. You're eating expensive sugar that's been processed until it's nutritionally worthless. Open your Woolies or Coles honey. Perfectly clear, perfectly liquid, never crystallizes. That's not natural. Real honey crystallizes within weeks or months. Glucose molecules bond and form crystals. That's proof of life. Supermarket honey stays liquid forever because it's been heat treated until it's barely honey anymore. Taste it. Sweet. Nothing else. No complexity, no floral notes, just sweet. Because heat treatment and Chinese blending creates one-dimensional flavor that offends nobody and satisfies nobody. $3 seems cheap. Here's what you're actually buying. Mostly Chinese honey, heat-treated until the benefits are destroyed, blended to minimum legal Australian content, sold at margins that make corporations rich. You're not saving money, you're buying less honey for more profit. Theirs, not yours. Budget price. Mostly Chinese. Heat-treated dead. Number 4. West Kobe honey. Costco's honey, bulk value, big bottles, $15 to $20 for a kilogram. Seems incredible for families who use honey fast. Costco's reputation makes it feel safe, vetted, legitimate. It's not. Weskerby has failed purity testing multiple times, multiple independent labs, rice syrup markers, C4 sugars, the same synthetic signatures that prove honey has been cut with cheap syrup to increase volume. The sourcing is completely hidden. Label says product of multiple countries. Which countries? Won't say. How much from each? Won't disclose. What percentage Australian? Unknown. The opacity is deliberate. If you knew the sources, you'd know you're buying bulk imported mystery honey. When test results went public, Costco gave the corporate script. Our products meet all regulatory standards and quality requirements. Same excuse. Every brand, every time. Meeting minimum legal standards doesn't mean pure honey. It means Australian standards are weak enough that adulterated honey passes. $20 for a kilo. Looks like a bargain, right? Costco value. Smart shopping. Do the maths. If that honey is 40% rice syrup, and tests suggest it might be, you just paid $20 for 600 grams of honey and 400 grams of industrial syrup. That's not value, that's fraud with bulk packaging. You didn't save money, you bought more fake. Costco positions itself as premium bulk retail. Members pay fees for better quality at volume pricing. That positioning creates trust. People assume Costco products are vetted. Weskerby trades on that trust while selling honey that fails independent testing. Open your Weskerby bottle. Perfectly uniform, clear, liquid, no crystallization even after months. Taste it, sweet, very sweet, but taste past the sweetness. Complexity, subtle flavors, floral notes, nothing. One-dimensional. That's what happens when you blend mystery honey from mystery countries with possible synthetic additives. Everything distinctive drowns in dilution. You wanted bulk value, you got bulk fraud. If this is opening your eyes, hit subscribe. We're exposing every aisle. Number 3, Barnes Naturals Australian Honey. Health food store honey. Barnes Naturals. Sounds wholesome. Positioned in the wellness section. Premium pricing. $8 to $12 for 500 grams. 100% pure. Australian honey. Natural. Everything screams trustworthy. It's not. Independent testing by consumer watchdogs found synthetic markers in Barnes Naturals honey, not C4 sugars, synthetic compounds, chemicals that have absolutely no business being in pure honey. Pure honey contains nothing synthetic, ever. If labs detect synthetic markers, the honey has been adulterated or contaminated. Period. Barnes Naturals is owned by Macro Whole Foods, big corporate entity behind multiple natural brands. When confronted with testing results, they questioned the methodology. Classic deflection. Attack the test, not the problem. Here's the scam. In Australia, natural means nothing. It's unregulated. Unlike organic, which requires certification, anyone can slap natural on anything. No legal definition, no enforcement. Barnes Naturals uses natural to create a health halo while selling honey with synthetic markers. Some jars display UMF or MGO ratings. Manuka honey potency numbers. Looks official, looks certified. It's not. Legitimate Manuka undergoes certified third-party testing. Barnes Naturals prints ratings without proper certification. When questioned, they claim the honey meets equivalent standards without providing verification. It's ratings theatre. Numbers on labels to justify prices, nothing backing them up. Open your Barnes Naturals jar. Look at the consistency. Uniform, stable, smell it. Distinctive floral aroma, concentrated flowers, number sweet and generic. That's processed honey. Filtered, heated, potentially adulterated until it's indistinguishable from supermarket brands. Taste it. Beyond sweetness, anything distinctive? Manuka has strong medicinal flavor. Eucalyptus has peppery notes. Barnes Naturals tastes like generic honey because it probably is generic honey. Blended commodity product from multiple origins wearing a wellness costume. The health food store placement creates false legitimacy. People assume products there are vetted for quality. They're not. Health food stores stock whatever brands pay for shelf space and deliver margins. Barnes Naturals is there because it's profitable, not because it's pure. You wanted natural, you got synthetic markers and fake ratings. That's not wellness, that's wellness fraud. Number 2, Golden Acres Manuka Honey. Premium Manuka, $40 to $60 for 250 grams. Luxury pricing, MGO ratings printed prominently. Everything screams medicinal grade honey with real antibacterial properties. It's a lie. Golden Acres has been tested multiple times. Independent laboratories, leptospirin analysis. That's the chemical marker proving honey actually came from manuka flowers, the gold standard for authenticity. Golden Acres failed. Leptospirin levels? Negligible or absent. This isn't manuka honey, it's regular honey with manuka printed on the label and fake MGO numbers to justify robbery pricing. Real manuka contains methyl glyoxal, MGO. That's what provides antibacterial properties. The rating indicates concentration. MGO 400 plus means 400 milligrams per kilogram. Legitimate manuka undergoes third-party lab testing to verify MGO levels before printing ratings. Golden Acres prints ratings without certification. No independent verification, no certified testing, just numbers, made up, printed on packaging. When challenged, Golden Acres claimed their honey meets Australian standards for manuka honey. Here's the problem. Australia barely has manuka standards, no mandatory leptospirin testing, no MGO verification requirements. Anyone can call anything manuka. New Zealand has strict standards, UMF certification, scientific testing, traceability. Australia, Wild West. Companies import cheap honey, add minimal real manuka or manuka flavoring, print fake MGO ratings, charge $50. The ACCC received multiple complaints. False labeling, misleading ratings, fraud. Action taken? Nothing meaningful, no fines, no recalls, no warnings. Golden Acres keeps selling with complete impunity. Open your Golden Acres jar. Real manuka smells medicinal, strong, almost antiseptic, unmistakable. Golden Acres smells like regular honey, slight floral sweetness, nothing medicinal. Taste it. Real manuka is strong, bitter undertones, medicinal character, coating texture. Golden Acres tastes pleasant, sweet, generic. The texture is wrong too. High MGO manuka is thick and crystallizes quickly. Golden Acres is liquid and smooth, stays that way for months because it's regular heat-treated honey, possibly with manuka flavoring, definitely without real manuka properties. Maybe you bought this for your mum, for her arthritis, for her immune system, $60 because you wanted the best for her. She's been swallowing lies. No leptospirin, no real manuka, just regular honey in a fancy jar with made-up numbers. $60 for something worth $6. That's not premium honey. That's elder fraud in a glass jar. The people who make this are counting on your love and exploiting it. Drop a comment. Which of these brands is in your pantry right now? Let's see how many Australians have been buying fake honey. Number 1. Allowrie, Capilano's organic line. This is the betrayal that cuts deepest. Allowrie is Capilano's premium organic line, organic certification, premium positioning. $14 to $18 for 500 grams, twice the price of regular Capilano. Everything says this is the pure, clean, honey health-conscious Australians can trust. You did everything right. You read the labels. You paid double. You chose organic because you wanted better for your kids. Cleaner, safer, real. And Capilano took that trust, that love, and exploited it. Same company that failed purity testing. Same company that's partially Chinese-owned. Same company that denied laboratory results. Same lies. Premium packaging. Allowrie underwent the same independent testing. Some samples failed. Same C4 sugar markers. Same adulteration signatures. The organic certification didn't prevent it, didn't guarantee purity, didn't protect your family. Here's why organic fails you with honey. Organic certification tests for pesticides, agricultural chemicals. It verifies bees weren't exposed to synthetic pesticides, confirms no chemical residues from conventional farming. But organic certification doesn't test for adulteration, doesn't check for C4 sugars, doesn't look for rice syrup markers, doesn't verify the honey is actually pure. A honey can be certified organic and completely adulterated with synthetic sugars. The certification focuses on farming practices while ignoring the biggest fraud risk entirely. Capilano knows this. They weaponized it. They charge double for Allowrie, selling potentially the same adulterated product as their regular line, just with organic certification that creates false trust. Same factory, same failed tests, same C4 markers, just a fancier label and a higher price. Organic doesn't mean pure. It means they found another way to charge you more for the same lie. Open your Allowrie jar. looks identical to regular Capilano. Same clear, liquid consistency, same uniform color, same lack of crystallization. Real organic honey behaves like real honey. It crystallizes naturally within weeks or months. Allowrie doesn't. Because it's not pure honey, taste it. Set aside the organic label. Set aside the premium price. Set aside your hopes. Does it taste twice as good as regular Capilano? More complex, richer, more floral? No, it tastes the same, because it probably is the same. Regular Capilano with organic certification and premium pricing. You're not buying better honey, you're buying better marketing. Go check your pantry right now. If you see Allowrie and thought organic meant pure, you've been scammed. Organic tests for pesticides, not for rice syrup, not for fraud. The premium price bought certification that doesn't protect you from the lie that matters. The good news: real honey still exists in Australia. Australian beekeepers produce genuinely pure honey. You just need to know where to look. Clean brand number 2, Kangaroo Island, pure Ligurian honey. Kangaroo Island, home to the world's oldest bee sanctuary, established 1885. The island's Ligurian bees are genetically pure, protected by legislation that prohibits any other bee species on the island. This isn't marketing, it's law. Every jar is genuinely single origin, traceable sourcing. You know exactly which island, which hives, which bees. The honey passes all purity tests. NMR spectroscopy, no C4 sugar markers, no adulteration, no blending with imported honey. Open the jar. The color varies by season. Spring harvest looks different from autumn. That's real. That's nature. The flavor is distinctive, floral with eucalyptus notes, subtle complexity, depth that changes as you taste. You simply don't get this from supermarket blends. Real honey from a protected bee population with transparent sourcing and verified purity. $20 to $30 for 500 grams. Yes, premium pricing, but you're paying for something that's actually real. This is what honey tastes like when it hasn't been processed, blended, or betrayed. Available online and at select specialty stores. Clean brand number 1, local beekeepers/farmers markets. Find beekeepers at farmers markets. Buy directly. Ask to see their hives. Real beekeepers are proud to show you. They'll tell you which flowers, which season, which extraction method. They have nothing to hide. Local honey crystallizes naturally. Within weeks or months, glucose molecules bond and form crystals. That's not a flaw, that's proof it's real. Supermarket honey stays liquid forever because it's heat-treated and filtered. Don't fear crystallization. Embrace it. Gently warm the jar in hot water when you need it liquid. Zero adulteration risk. Complete transparency. You know exactly where your honey came from and who made it. $10 to $20 for 500 grams from people who actually care about their product. This is real honey. 7 brands, 7 ways Australian families are being sold adulterated, blended, fake honey at real honey prices. The industry is broken. 20 to 30% of honey in Australian supermarkets fails purity testing. Chinese manufacturers perfected fake honey that fools basic tests. Australian standards are so weak that fraud passes legally. Corporations deny laboratory evidence and keep selling. Read every label. Product of multiple countries means mostly imported. Blended from local and imported means you'll never know the ratio. If it never crystallizes, it's been processed or adulterated. If it tastes one-dimensional, it's probably blended or fake. Real honey crystallizes naturally. Real honey has complex flavor. Real honey comes from identifiable sources. Comment below. Which product should I expose next? If this video changed how you'll shop, share it. Your mates, your family, anyone still buying Capilano thinking it's pure Australian honey. Subscribe. We're doing this every week, every aisle, every lie. Stay informed, stay healthy, and go check your pantry right now.